Do you know your SEO from your PPC and your CRO from your social proof? Well, no problem if not. I'm going to break down common digital marketing terms with some simple analogies. Hey, I'm Sam Dunning, co-owner over at webchoiceuk.com and host of the Top 100 Marketing Podcast Business Growth Show. And if you haven't yet, check out our weekly email where we share useful podcasts, actionable marketing tips, free guides, resources, and much, much more to start your week off with a bang each and every Monday. You can sign up today over at businessgrowth.email. I'm going to share 7 of the most common analogies that I use in the day to day when it comes to digital marketing terms to make them clear, simple, and easy to understand. So let's jump in. So, first up, we've got SEO, which stands for Search Engine Optimization, and it's the process of getting your website to that all important top position 1 spot on Google's organic non paid search. So, I often compare SEO to a mortgage because a mortgage, just like SEO, is a long term commitment. With a mortgage, you typically put down a deposit and you're making steady monthly payments to get you to that all important position of fully owning your house. Whereas SEO, you're steadily each and every month doing work on your website, off of your website, creating content, distributing content, building links, tracking, reporting, staying up to date with the Google algorithm, and getting that steady process to get your website to page 1 of Google and enjoy the fruits of your labor. So increase web traffic, brand visibility, increasing your reputation, increasing your revenue or your sales leads. So much like a mortgage, it is a long-term commitment, a long-term investment to make steady progress. Next up, we've got PPC, which stands for pay-per-click. So this could be Google AdWords, it could be Google Display Ads, it could be LinkedIn advertising or Facebook ads. Basically, you pay each time someone clicks your ad. So I often compare PPC to renting a property. So it's a quick way to get on the market, quick way to get yourself a home. But the moment you stop paying, your ads are going to be no longer live. And just like renting, your landlord's going to kick you out on your ass if you stop paying your bills. So it's a quick route to entry. And the thing is, PPC can work alongside SEO. So if you run Google Ads, you can get relatively quickly in front of your target market that is searching for your services or products. You can run them alongside SEO. So as a short-term strategy, you can run ads. Long-term, you can do your organic listings. So that means when someone does a Google search for your product, your offering, they're asking a question, they might see your ads, they might see your organic SEO listing. It gives you 2 opportunities, 2 bites of the cherry, builds up your brand visibility, and is a good, pretty fast route to market. At number 3, we've got web design. So I often compare websites to building a house. Reason being is you wouldn't start just chucking bricks together, trying to put doors in, trying to put windows in, because the property is going to fall apart. You need a solid foundation to build upon. And your website's the same. You need a solid step-by-step process. So typically, instead of the foundations, you do research. You'd understand who's the target customer you want to attract with the website, what do they care about seeing, common problems, what they want to get out of it, and how we can convert them on our website from browser to an inquiry or a sale, depending on what we want to do. So you follow a step-by-step process with research, then doing the design, then bringing the designs to life with development, then testing, then launching, and then bringing it to market with digital marketing. So it's good to think of your website as similar to building a house because you're doing that step-by-step process, getting the foundations right with your research, then steadily building upon what you learn to make sure your website is a success. And number 4, we've got social proof. So social proof, typically when you're talking about websites, landing pages, and digital marketing, this might come in the form of customer reviews, perhaps customer videos, case studies, accreditations, testimonials, and all that good stuff. So when you're perhaps searching for a service or a product and you stumble upon someone's website, you'll gain credibility, confidence that they can actually do the job that you need done because you're seeing examples of past clients they've helped. Perhaps they've got accreditations or industry awards. Perhaps they're sharing a case study of the problem someone came to you with, how you help them overcome it, and the end desired result and outcome. And I compare this to a CV. And the reason being is a CV is something that you'll hand a potential employer to really build trust that you're the person for the job. Perhaps you'll share past experiences. Perhaps you've got references from past companies, people that you've worked with, all in the form of trust building. So social proof is a massive trust builder when leveraged right for your landing pages, your website, and your digital marketing. Coming in at number 5, we have sponsored ads. What the heck are sponsored ads? Well, in the software world, these might be sites like Capterra, G2, or Clutch, or in construction, it might be Trusted Trader or Trusted Tradesman. There's a bunch of different sites in many different industries that basically aggregate a bunch of vendors, suppliers. So when you do a Google search, they tend to rank pretty highly because they've got so much useful content, so many different companies signed up. They're often near the top, and you'll click the listing and it will come up with a bunch of suppliers that fit the requirement that you've just searched for. So, how do I often compare these sponsored ads? What's the analogy I use? Well, I often say that they're like the old school yellow pages because, believe it or not, when the yellow pages were first out, companies used to actually start their company name with a letter A just so they'd be right at the front of the yellow pages. So, when you were searching for something, they come up right at the very top and you're most likely to check them out and give them a call. Well, sponsored ads aren't so different. So when you're perhaps searching for a software vendor, you see one of these sites. To get to the top of these sites' listings, you actually pay them. So you pay them a sponsorship fee, usually per month, and that's how you get to the top. And that's a simple analogy I like to use. Next up, we've got CRO, and that stands for Conversion Rate Optimization. And this is basically where you make changes or tweaks to your landing pages, to your website, to improve the amount of visitors you convert into leads or paying customers. And often it's done by using data, looking at analytics tools, looking at heat maps, looking at surveys, looking at how people interact with your website. So looking at tools like Google Analytics, Hotjar, really comparing where people are clicking, where people are dropping off, and using data to your advantage to make small tweaks, changes to your text, your copy, your design, your layout to convert the all important visitors you are getting into the maximum amount of leads or sales possible. So I often compare CRO to, do you know when you go to a gas station or a petrol station, and quite often when you're just about to pay for your fuel, they'll put coffees, they'll put Red Bulls, they'll put donuts, they'll put all the sweet snacks right by that counter. They don't do this by chance. They do it because they know when you're just about to pay, you'll make that impulse buy because perhaps you're feeling a bit tired, perhaps you need a little pick me up. And that's where they're going to convert you to get that extra purchase. And CRO is the same. So making small tweaks to get that conversion. And that could be something like on your inquiry form, perhaps reducing the amount of form fields. So perhaps normally you ask for first name, surname, company name, number of employees, all these different things, all these complex long form fields. And just by reducing the form fields to something like name, what's your inquiry, your email, and your phone number, it lowers the friction, it reduces the ask from your prospect. Therefore, they're more likely to take the time and convert. So that's a working example of CRO for you. Finally, at number 7, we've got building a personal brand. So building a personal brand, I can give a working example is basically how I sprung up out of nowhere on LinkedIn, started creating content, in my case, around websites, around SEO, and providing daily tips, really. So giving examples of simple ways that you can make your SEO more effective, simple ways to increase more leads from your website, answering common questions that I get from clients, and putting out videos, text content, images, all to help my ideal clients build up my reputation as someone who's trusted that can do great websites and SEO with my company. And over time, building up my authority, my credibility, and getting inquiries either through our website or direct through LinkedIn. And personal brand doesn't have to be directly on LinkedIn. It can be on other social channels, but that's just an actual example that I can give you. Now, I compare building a personal brand to working out at the gym because it's not something you can just post once on social and ghost, and then you're going to get a ton of followers, you're going to get a ton of DMs, a ton of leads, and build up your credibility as a trusted person in your space or your industry. Just doesn't happen, right? With social, you've got to do a bunch of posts each and day to build up your credibility. You've got to engage on other people's profiles and comment on their posts. and build it up that way. So the gym's the same. You can't just go once and get shredded abs or get super fit or get super lean. You've got to put in the reps. You've got to do the work consistently. So if you're going to the gym, that might mean one day you've got to do chest, the next day you've got to do your back and your biceps, the next day you've got to do your legs, maybe day 4 you're going to do cardio, maybe you work out a routine of 4 or 5 days of the gym, eating clean, eating smart with your veggies, your meats, your proteins, getting enough water intake and following a consistent plan. And building a personal brand on social is just the same. You can't just do it once and expect results. You've got to follow a fairly careful routine to make it happen and get the results that you desire. And there you have it. Those are my 7 tips to make digital marketing nice and simple with easy to understand analogies. Hope you found this episode of use. If you're tuning in from YouTube, a quick subscribe is very much appreciated. Or if you're on the audio podcast, a quick rating or review, I'd be very, very thankful for. And with that, I should catch you on the next one. Cheers.